My name is Tony Smotherman. I'm head of influencer relations for Bergara Rifles, but over the last 25 years I've made a living in the outdoor industry or the hunting industry, so I can continue spreading the word of what an amazing place the outdoors is. The man upstairs created this for us to enjoy, and I've stayed my path to try to focus on that and pass that along to everybody that gets in my way, basically. But today, we're here in Southwest Texas in what everybody calls brush country. This is my first opportunity to be here, and I don't think I could ever pick a better location to be and share a blind with Mr. David Morse, a gentleman that kind of set my path in life, if you will. And now here we're hanging out in some of the best hunting that Texas has to offer, hanging out with the #1 whitetail manager and land manager that I could ever think of. You know, and I am so embarrassed to say that my nickname is Traveling Hunter, and I've traveled all over the world, but never South Texas.
Oh man, you saved the best for last.
Well, I'm gonna take your word for that.
Well, you won't have to after this afternoon. When Tony arrived here on Mavala, I didn't realize that this was his first time ever to come to South Texas. He's never hunted South Texas. So I was really excited to share this incredible place with him. South Texas in itself is fantastic. To me, it's the best deer hunting in the world. But to share it with Tony on Mavala Ranch, I couldn't wait. I knew he was going to have his mind blown by what he was going to see here on Mavala Ranch in South Texas.
Me being the first time ever down this portion of the country, and reading publications, seeing TV shows, a lot of people think this area down here is just covered in high fences. But here at Mavala, this here is a low fence operation. When I say that, I mean it is just a 4 or 5 strand barbed wire fence that goes around this that I'm sure originally was a cattle ranch. So deer, hogs, javelina, turkeys, everything else here can come and go as they please. So I know here on the Bucks of Tecumseh, the word management comes up a whole lot, and that's a really broad spectrum, a huge umbrella, but there's a whole lot to that, and that's passing deer, proper food source, farming for wildlife is a lot of work, water sources, learning how to age. That's one thing I've learned here is learning how to age whitetail. So there's a lot of pieces to it, but if you're driven and you're focused on management, it's a pretty easy process. It just takes time to do it. So it's the first afternoon here in Texas, and to be honest with you, again, I'm really tore up and super excited about what is going to go on. And we already got deer coming in the field within minutes of being in the blind. David's not really impressed, I can tell. Well, we're not seeing 100 deer, but in my mind, I'm going, oh my God, there's 20 deer in the field. This is the most deer I've seen in the field in a long time. We're there for 2 hours. An absolute giant walks into the field, and this is where the management plan and self-restraint comes into play. We get our binocs out, glass him down good at 400 yards. He is a clean, symmetrical, unbroken, massive 10-pointer. I know you're thinking what I'm thinking. Oh, get the gun out, let's go to business. But the problem is management.
He's one of the bucks that's the future of Mavala Ranch. This was a absolutely beautiful 4-year-old 10. He is a really dandy buck. So he's the first of what we hope will be many this afternoon. The wind's letting up a little bit.
Here at the Mavala Ranch, it's all about management. Proper management, meaning let young deer walk, especially with big potential.
We love to see these young bucks coming on because they are the future of Mavala, and I'm telling you, the future is bright here. So we watch him for a while, and then a few more deer start coming in over here, over there, mostly does, a couple of young bucks. And we're sitting there, it's getting pretty late, the sun has dropped below the tree line, and we're thinking, this just has not been what we expected this afternoon, when all of a sudden to our left comes out pretty quickly a very excited buck. So when that buck comes out, I immediately recognize him as a big 7-pointer that we have previously seen on that food plot when we were hunting Bobby's deer. And I told Tony immediately, we're going to take that deer, get set up, we're going to take him.
Right at dark, a buck come in, and I'm telling you, he is on the verge of kicking rut in full steam. But this buck come in so wound up, out of his mind, rut crazed, that he literally was slobbering and drooling when he come into the field. Upside for that is he was a great management buck. So 4.5, 5.5-year-old 7-pointer did not and would not make the cut here at the Mavala Ranch. So David did not call me off on this guy.
You know he made a great shot on him. You can tell the impact is perfect. The deer takes off and he runs, and right before he gets to the edge of the brush, you see him going down and he just kind of dives into the brush. Tony has shot a really nice 7-pointer out of boy, Texas deer.
Texas deer. Brush country.
It will not be the last. It will not be the last. If a guy wants a trophy 7-pointer, this was a trophy 7-pointer. Absolutely beautiful buck.
Oh yeah, dream come true right here.
Well, that's awesome. We're glad to have you here, Tony. Tony's a good guy. He's one of the good guys in this industry, and there's a lot of them, though. There are a lot of good people in this industry.
Man, absolutely.
It's an awesome industry. A lot of people love the Lord and appreciate the opportunity to get out here and enjoy this place.
Oh my goodness.
So we go over there, do the recovery on him.
Boy, he is a big old 7. So I didn't see this side over here. I could see this off side here, like right there.
Yeah. Hey, buddy, I've been wanting to meet you.
How long you been looking at this sucker?
2 years.
Oh my
He's
goodness.
been on my hit list for 2 years.
Well,
yeah,
he is.
He's pretty.
You know, he's clean too. For some reason, I didn't think he had this brow tine right here.
He's intact. Well, we're just really getting started. You know that, don't you?
Hey, I tell you what, that's all right. I ain't got nothing to do for the next 3 or 4 days.
Congratulations,
Thank
buddy.
you so much, sir. We sure appreciate
good
you.
Good shot on him. We had a really good young buck that came out. I think kind of hurt Tony that he couldn't shoot him because that was a good deer. He's pretty, wasn't he?
It did leave a little scar on me. This born take care of scars though, so I'm good. But what an amazing animal, you know. When he come out tonight, I'm like, ooh. He'd meet the salt anywhere else. I can tell you that, sir. But I'm glad you're here to tell me and help me understand age structure here. What I'm used to talking about, a really mature deer in the areas of the country that I have hunted in and hunt in currently.
It's a 4-year-old.
It's a 4-year-old.
Yeah.
Down here, you're talking 6.5, 7.5, 8.5, and that's numbers that it's hard for us guys from the South and Midwest to even understand.
That's right.
But that just proves what a special place this is here.
I love it down here.
Well, you're changing my mindset a little bit. I can promise you that.
Let's get him out.
All right, yes, sir.
So the next morning, we decide we're going to mix it up a little bit. We're going to go over on what we call the west line. But on the way out, I got to thinking about what we call the southwest food plot. So I decided, rather than go to the west line, we're going to take a little stop here at the southwest food plot and sneak in and see what's there first thing in the morning. And so we get in the blind, things are pretty quiet, everything's good, we got in good shape, and we start seeing a body here, a body there, still too early to tell what they are. And then as the day progresses, as the morning progresses, I start saying, okay, that's a doe, that's a doe, that's a doe, that's a young buck. And then I turn and look to the far right of the food plot, and back against the brush line is a body. And we take a look at it, and it is a big buck. It's a big, mature buck.
But he was standing there like a statue, and literally over a period of 20 minutes, he never moved a muscle. It was the most amazing thing that I've ever seen. When I could see him stand there, when the sun got up enough to where I could get a good visual, I could see the outline of his body, I could see his jaw, I could see he had a Roman nose. I knew in my mind I wanted to shoot him first and foremost. But I felt pretty sure that he was a big, mature deer just by looking at his body. But again, 20, 30 minutes, he's standing there, light is getting a little brighter, we can tell more about him, My heart rate was climbing, anticipation was jumping up on me a little bit when David goes, hey man, that deer right there is 8.5 years old. I know that deer. Get your gun up. Well, you ain't got to tell me twice, I can promise you that. I got the gun up right quick, and about the same time I was working my gun out the window, this statue of a buck finally broke his stance and was working his way across the plot to the does, the natural decoys is coming out from the left side of the blind. And he closed the distance to about 140 yards, give or take, before the safety come off, and I sent a 6.5 Creedmoor 143 grain ELDX in his direction.
You feel good?
Felt good.
All right. A little touch of butt fever didn't crept up on you.
There's a little butt fever right there.
That's a good old 10. He's old as the hills.
That sucker right there, I mean, from a guy that hunts the Midwest, he looked like a Midwestern
He
whitetail.
looked like a bull, didn't he?
Big, giant throat. You can see his big muscle definition in his throat. That was an old song gun right there.
Old bull of a buck. Look here, buddy.
Yes, sir.
Congratulations. I see him laying right
15
there.
yards right there, my man. Yeah. Look at that son of a gun right there.
Golly. This is a buck we call a Southwest Old 10. We've been seeing him for
Really?
2 or 3 years, yeah, and he's an institution here.
Oh, wow.
In that, now keep in mind, I've only ever seen him twice, but I got enough photos of him, but I didn't see him this year. So I didn't know what he looked like.
Wow.
He's a little different this year than he's been. This is an 8.5-year-old
I
whitetail buck.
can't even fathom
he
that.
could be a 220. He wouldn't be any smarter if he was a 220 than he is now.
You bet.
This is an old, mature.
Oh my gosh.
As standing there cautious like that, it tells you this is an old war horse.
That
Here.
was so wicked impressive to see that.
This animal's a survivor. He's been out here, he's been chased by coyotes, he's fought other bucks, he's froze to death, and he's had to eat grass and brush, and look at the stuff he eats. I mean, this deer's a survivor.
Oh man.
And he's smart. He didn't just come charging here like those young bucks. You see them, they just come right on in.
Oh, you bet.
These old guys, they come in there and they're looking because they're there. There's a defensive aspect to them before there's a rutting aspect to them.
That's a stay alive aspect.
There he is. He is. He said, I know this place right here. I've seen some buddies of mine die right here. So there he is, by golly.
Man, what a great deer. Just being able to be here right now and be able to put hands on an 8.5-year-old deer is probably the highlight of my career, because again, I've never seen a deer this old. Overall, I have learned more in the last 2 days than I have learned in 10 years about whitetail management and age structure and all that. So super impressed with what you've done here, and more importantly, I appreciate the opportunity to be here to spend time with you and learn from somebody that is so well versed in whitetail management.
Well, I appreciate it, Tony.
Thank you so much,
man, and I thank
appreciate
Bobby
you more than you
Parker,
know,
too, for letting us do this on his incredible ranch here at Mavala. So we still had a little time left in the morning after he shot his 10, and we got him loaded up, and I told Tony, I said, you know, it's just too beautiful a day to go in yet. Let's run over to the west line and just sit for a few minutes. A lot of times on these real cold mornings, these bucks will move well up into the morning.
It's been a great couple of days here for Tony on Mavala Ranch. After they recovered the big 10-point, David said it was still too early to head back to camp and decided to try another stand on the west line.
David said, all right, let's go. So we jumped on the Polaris Ranger, hauled tail around the ranch, got to another really nice Sendero looking. I know in Texas everybody thinks about hunting Senderos, and I hadn't done that just yet, so I was really tickled when we pulled up to the blind and there was 3 Senderos that run off in each direction, that we were going to hunt these here Senderos for the next couple hours.
Got in the blind, and we hadn't settled in for just a few minutes when we had a doe here, a doe there. And then as we're sitting there, we're just enjoying the morning, we reliving the 10-pointer, and then I'm looking past Tony down a Sendero, and over Tony's shoulder I look, and there's a buck has come in the end of the Sendero. And I put my glasses on him. I got loophole 12 power, so I get a pretty good look at what he is. And this is a good buck.
David staring him down, kind of giving his professional opinion, his once over, and he goes, hey, that deer's 5.5 years old. He's just a big 8-pointer. Shoot him. And again, I follow instructions pretty well. You ain't got to tell me twice. The Highlander comes back out, put it on a sandbag.
There you go, hit him good.
That's what gets you up at 5:15 every morning right there.
Oh, you busted him. He almost went down before he got out of Sendero. But
I did not see impact, but I did see him kicking up dirt as he was running out.
he didn't go far, he's just right there.
This has been an absolute amazing morning, I will tell you. And I know you guys are sitting on the couch at home watching this, but to be here right now, it is the most amazing thing in the world, because Texas is, and I've always heard this and never have experienced it till our current sitting right now, but Texas is a target-rich environment.
I think he took a hard turn to the right, because there he lays right there.
What, you see him? Yes! Oh! Good eye. Good eye. Yeah, boy.
He broke his main beam. He's not a 7, look at there.
Yep,
That's
sure
his
enough.
G3, he broke his main beam off.
And it's been broke for a while, because it's already smoothed off.
It has, yeah.
Rounded
Looked
down.
like he was a 7. That's actually quite a nice buck, darn.
Heck yeah,
Well,
man.
fantastic.
Man,
Well,
the coloration of these guys here, the antlers on these.
beautiful, isn't it?
Oh my gosh, man. Unbelievable.
Just beautiful, just beautiful. But, and you tore your nose up.
Man, it's tore up,
I
isn't it?
mean, we just
Yeah.
about took the pad off. You're a tough old bugger. Good animal, beautiful, beautiful buck. All righty, good thing is the Polaris is just right there.
Hey, I like his Texas Dragon. I just wanted to say, what an amazing experience it has been hunting here at the Mavala Ranch, understanding a whole lot more about deer management, aging deer, spending time with David, spending time with Damon, and I'm extremely proud to say that the relationship between Bergara Rifles and the bucks of Tecomate is strong, and that this right here is heaven on earth in Southwest Texas.
We have had a great hunt with the guys here from Bergara. It is such a great thing for us to team with a company of this quality. And Tony Smotherman, what a fun guy to hunt with. I'm gonna tell you, he and I told some big hunting tales. What an incredible hunt we had here on the bucks of Tecomate.